Hey guys, Mayflom here, and just a quick little adhesives video because I have found a new adhesive that I like. Thanks to I took a class and they had us use this adhesive and I really liked it. So I'm going to share that with you, but we're also going to test it out. Right here and right here, I have Beacon 3-in-1 craft glue used. And then right here, the letter P is Perfect Paper Adhesive, my go-to, the one you always are seeing me use in videos. So what I want to do right now, because I was curious to test, is if I rub ink over, I'm just curious if there's any effect if we rub ink. Yeah. Okay, so both of the adhesives, and that way you can see it show up a little better, will resist ink. This is on watercolor paper, and this one, if I... Oh, actually, the PPA not as much. That is interesting. But anyway, they do both do a fair job of resisting where the adhesive is. So that's something of note. Why? Well, because if you're doing something and you've got a big amount of this down and then you're trying to figure out why the color won't stick, well, now you know. That was just more curious and just to see what happens. They both dry clear. The 3-in-1, when it dried, it had no bubbles, and then when it totally dried, it got just an absolute ton of bubbles. I mean, the whole thing is like teeny tiny bubbles all over. That could be very cool. It could also be very annoying. So what are the differences? What are we going to do? PPA remains my go-to. You're never going to get the matte finish. You're never going to get me away from it. Here is why. This is, as it says, a universal clear drying adhesive. Paper to paper, paper to wood, paper to anything, buttons, metals, whatever you want. You put a glob of PPA down and you glue something on it. You know, here's a little canvas that I made a while back. I can hold on to this button all day long, or this leaf. It ain't coming off. Nothing's coming off. Once it's dry, as long as I used a good amount, once it's dry, PPA is solid. It really will lock stuff in. It'll lock your paper in, and it'll create a barrier. There are other, let's call them decoupage or collage mediums. This is your go-to right here. It'll do everything from, you know, you're scrapbooking and you want something archival for your embellishments, for your dimensional embellishments, to paper, paper to wood. You're working on a mixed media canvas and you want to glue a bunch of stuff. You want to glue paper layers, whatever. This is your go-to. And you might be thinking, okay, well then May, what in the world are you recommending Beacon 3-in-1 craft glue for? Well, that's a very good question. Here's the thing. What I discovered with this is that it is very much, the way I best describe it is hot glue, except it's cold and ready to go in a bottle. I don't have to freak out because I left for the airport and the hot glue gun might be on. No, this bottle, and you do have to like, it is thick, okay? But this bottle, it's like having cold hot glue. And it comes out, it reminds me very much of hot glue. It does dry pretty quick. The other thing is, if you see how it does the strings like hot glue, right? You see the little strings forming? It'll also stick to my finger, and also I'm going to have all kinds of, as I call them, hot glue boogers all over my fingers. It's all right, though, because here's the thing. Let's say I have a project and I want to glue this button down. If I stick this, and I'm not, because I like this button and I actually want to use it, so I'm not going to actually stick it. I stick this down in here and in like 30 seconds, it's stuck, it's good. If I do that with PPA, I need to leave it for a half hour, maybe an hour. Now, on this, it does say acid-free and waterproof. It does not say anything about being archival. It does not say anything about any of its other qualities. So if you're going archival and like last forever and that kind of stuff, I still think you're going here. But if you need a quick, I mean, the thing that's got me all crazy is that this is like having hot glue without the heat. So for me, there's a lot of situations where I'm thinking, oh gosh, I've got to get the hot glue out if I'm going to do that project. Well, not anymore. I can just pull this one out. And you know me, whenever I find a good find, I've got to share it with you guys. So that's why I'm telling you about that. And why I'm reminding you why you see this one so much in my crafting. So that's that for me. If you have any adhesive questions, if you have any video requests, or anything else whatsoever, you can leave me a comment below and I'll get right back to you. I'll see you next time, guys. Happy crafting.